Happy Friday, my caffeine-deprived blockchain believers, crypto skeptics, and those still hodling Dogecoin waiting for Elon to rescue you. Get comfy because it might be a while. Either way, welcome back to another episode of the Blockchain Report. I'm Hank Hudson, your perpetually unimpressed tour guide, broadcasting live from the fog-drenched heart of San Francisco, California, where innovation meets overpriced avocado toast. Before we get neck deep into today's crypto circus, do me a solid, hit like, smash that follow button, and subscribe to Roxham TV and Hank at Roxham TV on all platforms. And in return, I'll grace you with just enough blockchain savvy to bluff your way through awkward cocktail parties, or at least steer clear of becoming the next cautionary tale about investing your rent money into cartoon frogs. And remember, folks, this isn't just another podcast filled with crypto cliches. I'm here bringing the heat, slinging blockchain wisdom at you faster than your drunken uncle throws out conspiracy theories at Thanksgiving dinner. So get comfy, because today's show is packed tighter than a weekend trip at Costco, with all the snarky crypto news you've come to expect, including Donald Trump's new vow to turn the U.S. into a crypto superpower, how the United States recession could actually benefit Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is heading to $13 million, and when our Lord and Saylor, Michael Saylor, says this is going to happen. All that and more, but first, this morning's market rundown. It's time for Market Rundown. We still don't have a song to play during this part, so I sing it for you guys. I'm sorry. And we're on camera 3, nailing it this morning, boys. All right, so starting off, things are a little in the red, but it's nothing we haven't already come to expect. Bitcoin hovering just over 84K. Ethereum down about 1.5 percentage-wise this morning, sitting at about 1950. We have XRP hovering at about 238 a pop right now. Cardano at just underneath 71 cents. And Dogecoin hanging tight around 16.5, not doing a whole lot. In the stonk market, we got the Dow Jones down about 0.64 percentage points this morning. The NASDAQ composite sitting at around 17,600. The S&P down 0.5 percentage point. MicroStrategy, as we always say, goes where Bitcoin goes, and it's following suit, down about 1 percentage point this morning, hovering at just underneath $300 a share. Tesla actually having an up day, up almost 2.5 percentage points, but we know this probably won't last very long. And Nvidia down 1.5% on the day. We'll be right back with our bull run after this.
Security matters. Zappo Bank, the only way to bank your Bitcoin. Apply now at zappobank.com.
And we're back with this morning's bull run, where we go over the top stories so you don't have to do all the doom scrolling yourself to get the latest news. Yesterday, President Donald Trump declared that he's determined to make America the undisputed crypto superpower of the world, because apparently dominating regular money isn't good enough. Now, speaking at the Blockworks Digital Assets Summit in New York, Trump proudly embraced his new role as the self-proclaimed crypto president. Take that, laser-eyed Twitter bros. Now, Trump promised to end what he called the Biden administration's regulatory war on crypto. Let's take a listen.
I signed an order creating the brand new strategic Bitcoin reserve and a U.S. digital asset stockpile, which will allow the federal government to maximize the value of its holdings instead of foolishly selling them for a fraction of their long-term value, which is exactly what Biden did. He got a fraction of their value.
I love how he took literally 30 seconds to trash Biden. Just classic Trump. You never change, Donald, never change. But then again, nothing screams freedom quite like swapping restrictive regulations for slightly less restrictive ones, crafted by Congress. So Trump appointed tech billionaire David Sachs as his official crypto czar, likely making this the first administration in history where czar isn't just a meaningless title they hand out when nobody knows what else to call someone. Now, with his plan to build a national Bitcoin stockpile, Bitcoin fans everywhere cheered the announcement, presumably thrilled at the idea of Uncle Sam hodling alongside of them. Meanwhile, skeptics still see crypto as a digital Wild West, volatile, unpredictable, and occasionally useful for buying overpriced JPEGs of cartoon apes. Crypto, of course, has always been a bit experimental, experiencing more boom and bust cycles than your average reality TV career.
Yeah,
Mike.
boy!
There we go. Everyone's firing on all cylinders today. Awesome, guys. Now, but Trump's support brings mainstream validation, or at least guarantees some epic Twitter threads. Together, he said, we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower. Now, likely what Trump was imagining there was like a Mount Rushmore updated with 4 laser-eyed presidents. I can't wait till he knocks down the real Rushmore for that one. I mean, after all, who needs fiscal responsibility when you've got digital gold in your national treasury, right? Right. Now, Eric Trump is in the news. Yep, the other blonde Trump son. He just landed a spot on the newly formed strategic advisory board at Bitcoin stacking firm Metaplanet, because apparently Bitcoin adoption now requires the official Trump family seal of approval. Metaplanet's CEO Simon Garovich praised Eric's business acumen and his love of the Bitcoin community, a combo presumably as powerful as pineapple on pizza, divisive but strangely effective. Eric Trump, who's carved out his reputation in real estate, brand development, and now digital assets, is joining Metaplanet to help them become a global leader in the Bitcoin economy. Translation, we hired a famous Trump to pump our share price, and it totally worked. After the announcement, Metaplanet's stock jumped nearly 18% on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, proving once again that the Trump name still has more influence over markets than any logical investor might care to admit. Metaplanet currently holds over 3,000 BTC, worth roughly $4.1 billion, which makes them the 12th largest corporate Bitcoin holder in the world. They're aiming for over 10,000 BTC by the end of 2025, and now Eric gets to help them buy that dip, or pump the price, whichever comes first, I guess. Now, Eric Trump, meanwhile, isn't new to crypto. He's already played a key role at World Liberty Financial, the Trump family's very own crypto platform, which raised $550 million in its latest token sale. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that the Trump family isn't shy about branding literally anything. Real estate, steaks, sneakers, Bibles, watches, vodka, airlines, universities, presidencies, and now crypto tokens. Oof, pick a lane, guys. Eric even revealed his personal crypto stash includes Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, and Sui, making his crypto portfolio more diversified than most people's dinner menus. Metaplanet hopes that Eric's global hospitality expertise and famous last name will help push their Bitcoin dreams forward. Or, at the very least, guarantee them some very entertaining headlines. And crypto is officially flexing its muscles in Washington because nothing screams political influence quite like showering Congress with cash, baby. And no, it's not just Donald Trump leading the crypto charge. Even the Democrats are hopping on board the Bitcoin bandwagon. Case in point, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is suddenly crypto's new best friend, pushing stablecoin legislation and aiming to roll back annoying tax reporting rules. I hate those. Now, Gillibrand, who's now a major Democratic fundraiser, has clearly discovered the magic formula. Bipartisanship plus crypto equals campaign donations. She's partnered up with Republican crypto warrior Cynthia Lummis from Wyoming. Proof that crypto truly is the great unifier in American politics. Lummis even admitted that without Gillibrand, their crypto-friendly bills wouldn't stand a chance of passing the Senate's notoriously cranky 60-vote threshold. Or in other words, crypto needs Gillibrand more than Elon Musk needs attention. Look at the jawline on that one. You see that? He's been mewing or something. Now, together, Gillibrand and Lummis are championing bills that would finally give crypto clear regulatory guidelines instead of the current "we'll sue you and see what happens" policy. Senator Elizabeth Warren, however, isn't exactly thrilled, still warning of a crypto apocalypse every chance she gets. But crypto's big spending packs like Fairshake clearly aren't losing sleep. After dropping $40 million to unseat the longtime crypto skeptic Sherrod Brown and replacing him with Bernie Moreno, a literal blockchain entrepreneur. Subtle move, guys. Subtle move. In total, Fairshake Pack and friends are sitting on a mind-boggling $116 million war chest for upcoming elections because nothing says democracy quite like crypto billionaires ensuring their voices are the loudest in the room. Now, Gillibrand insists that senators aren't influenced by crypto money, adding no one should care who gives politically, which translated from politician speak probably means please keep sending us those checks though. Thanks. Now, Gillibrand argues that stablecoins aren't risky investments, likening them instead to traveler's checks or gift cards. So basically your Starbucks gift card, but somehow worth billions and backed by short-term government debt. With heavyweights like Visa, PayPal, and Stripe diving into stablecoins, crypto is becoming as mainstream as people knowing what the WNBA is. And thanks to bipartisan crypto enthusiasm, Washington is finally realizing that Bitcoin and blockchain might just be more important than arguing about literally everything else. And North Carolina and Minnesota have officially jumped aboard the Bitcoin bandwagon themselves, proposing laws to invest in public funds into the world's greatest cryptocurrency. North Carolina's SB 327 could allow the state treasurer to put up to 10% of public money into Bitcoin. Because nothing says fiscal responsibility like hedging your state's financial future on an asset known for its calm, predictable nature, right? We love you, BTC. But don't worry. They're playing it safe. The bill includes multi-signature cold storage and monthly audits for maximum transparency. Oh, and they're only allowed to sell Bitcoin in severe financial crisis. Translation, don't sell unless the Capitol building itself is literally melting down. But to be fair, didn't we already kind of almost see that happen before? Maybe my memory's cloudy. Meanwhile, over in Minnesota, Senator Jeremy Miller has had his own crypto epiphany and introduced the Minnesota Bitcoin Act. Miller, once a skeptic of crypto, now sees Bitcoin as more than just digital monopoly money, proving you can in fact teach an old politician new tricks. His bill would allow Minnesotans to pay their state taxes using Bitcoin, finally making April 15th slightly less soul-crushing. Get those taxes in, guys. And here's a cherry on top. Bitcoin gains would be exempt from state income tax. Apparently, Minnesota wants everyone to feel better about living in Minnesota. It is really cold there. I almost lived there once, but good thing I didn't. And with 23 states now considering Bitcoin reserves, it looks like state legislatures everywhere are finally realizing Bitcoin is more exciting than filling potholes. Whew, I need a break. We'll be right back. And we're back with more Bull Run. And today's edition of bad news that secretly might be good. BlackRock's head of digital assets, Robbie Mitchnick, announced that a U.S. recession would actually turbocharge Bitcoin. I'm listening. Because according to Michnik, Bitcoin thrives on exactly the kind of fiscal chaos that typically accompanies recessions: high spending, ballooning deficits, low interest rates, and massive monetary stimulus. You know, all the ingredients the Federal Reserve just loves to cook with. Michnik also casually mentioned that Bitcoin benefits from fears of general social disorder, because nothing screams financial stability like prepping your apocalypse bunker with cold storage crypto wallets. He argues that many investors mistakenly lump Bitcoin in with risk-on assets like stocks, commodities, and other things that plummet when the economy sneezes. Apparently, they've missed the memo that Bitcoin is the escape pod, not the Titanic. Now, Michnik isn't bothered by recent outflows from Bitcoin ETFs either, suggesting that it's just hedge funds doing their usual short-term arbitrage dance, not the sophisticated long-term Bitcoin accumulators, who are probably too busy stacking sats and laughing at panic sellers anyway. Of course, Coinbase analyst disagrees slightly, noting that recession fears have dampened crypto sentiment recently. Or, in other words, Coinbase is annoyed that Bitcoin didn't moon instantly after their Super Bowl ads. Michnik doubled down on Bitcoin's resilience, highlighting BlackRock's whopping $48.7 billion iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF as proof that institutional investors aren't going anywhere. So while traditional finance panics at the first sign of trouble, Bitcoiners might secretly be rooting for the next economic meltdown, purely for educational purposes, of course. And XRP surged a whopping 10% just the other day after Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse gleefully announced that the SEC is dropping its appeal against the company. Garlinghouse, probably smiling bigger than your friend who bought Bitcoin back in 2013, called it a resounding victory for Ripple and crypto in every conceivable way possible. Translation: we spent half of the decade fighting the SEC, and all we got was this lousy billion-dollar rally. This endless lawsuit kicked off way back in 2020 when the SEC accused Ripple of raising $1.3 billion through unregistered XRP sales. Now, Judge Annalisa Torres gave Ripple a mixed verdict back in 2023, ruling that institutional sales were shady, but programmatic sales to everyday exchanges were totally cool. Now, Ripple took a $125 million slap on the wrist, prompting the SEC to immediately file an appeal because, let's face it, losing gracefully isn't exactly their specialty. Garlinghouse called the lawsuit the first major shot fired in the war on crypto, and he's not wrong. XRP holders alone watched $15 billion vanish faster than your tax refund in Vegas. Speaking of Vegas, the biggest names in Bitcoin and the much smaller names, like yours truly, will be at the Venetian Hotel from May 27th through May 29th for the upcoming Bitcoin conference. And just because I like you guys so much, use promo code ROXEM to snag 10% off of your ticket. But anyway, back to Ripple. After former SEC chair Gary Gensler, who kind of looks like one of those blobfish, at least in that photo, not a flattering one, Gary, he left office and the commission suddenly lost its appetite for lawsuits faster than a politician abandoning their campaign promises immediately after Election Day. Ripple and friends also spent big money in the 2024 elections, donating over $70 million to Congress-focused PACs and another $5 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Because apparently, politics and crypto go together even better than peanut butter and jelly, or SEC lawsuits and headaches. Now, with this drama finally wrapping up, Ripple could soon join the ETF club. Grayscale, Bitwise, and Franklin Templeton have all filed applications for XRP ETFs, and Bloomberg's ETF nerds peg the odds at around 65 to 75%. The SEC, unsurprisingly, has declined to comment, likely because they're busy updating their LinkedIn status to "it's complicated." Remember when people used to do that? Weird. Now, our Lord and Saylor, Michael Saylor, he's back. And once again, he has gazed into his crystal Bitcoin ball and declared the price is heading to $13 million. Oof, I hope so. At the Digital Assets Summit yesterday, The big boss at Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, doubled down on his optimistic prediction, or projection I should say, stating confidently, "I think the price of Bitcoin will go to 13 million over 20 years. Those are bold words, especially since the rest of us are just hoping for Bitcoin to stop behaving like a caffeinated squirrel. Now, Saylor emphasized Bitcoin's unique status as a scarce digital commodity, noting that unlike some other securities, he can legally make such price predictions without regulators sending angry letters to his door. It happens. Now, fair enough, Michael, because no one wants to wake up to an SEC subpoena alongside their morning coffee. He also lauded Bitcoin's origin as the Immaculate Conception, arguing that it's the one asset humans can't screw up through greed and mismanagement. Well, humanity, challenge accepted. Let's hope we don't find a way to frack Bitcoin too. Speaking of fracking, Saylor explains that if the price of oil goes to $1,000 a barrel, we'll frack it, triple frack it, and hyper frack it. Easy there, Michael. One more frack and you might accidentally summon Elon Musk. We get that joke, right? We get that. Beetlejuice, can't say it 3 times. Interestingly, he highlighted President Trump's recent executive order, establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is my contribution to humanity, is this photo right here, which officially recognizes Bitcoin as digital gold. Great. America finally admits Bitcoin is valuable. Only about 15 years too late, but hey, who's counting, right? Now, ultimately, Saylor praised Bitcoin as decentralized, ethical, and immaculate. Kind of makes you wonder if he's describing Bitcoin or writing its Tinder profile. You like that one? He's 1 in 21 million. You get it? You guys got it. You're smart. Now, Michael Saylor, everyone, the man who never saw a Bitcoin prediction he couldn't double down on. That means we only got $12,915,000 to go. And a whopping 70% of crypto payments in the European Union are now going straight to retail, food, and drinks, according to a report by Ubit. That's right. Forget moon Lambos. Europeans are apparently preferring cappuccinos and croissants paid with stable coins. Now, the average crypto payment through Ubit app, it's just $8.36, so clearly crypto is no longer just for whale-sized trades. It's now perfect for funding your crippling caffeine addiction. Another 26% went to tourism. So Europeans aren't just spending their crypto at cafes, they're booking vacations to places presumably even more crypto-friendly than home. Meanwhile, a tiny 1.5% went toward government services. Because nothing screams innovation like, paying parking tickets with Tether. Now, speaking of Tether, 92% of these crypto purchases used USDT, which ironically isn't exactly besties with Europe's MiCA regulations, now fully enforced as of December of 2024. But hey, when did a little thing like regulations ever stop crypto enthusiasts, right? I mean, crypto adoption in Europe is actually booming right now, up 44% year over year, according to Chainalysis. Now, stablecoin use in Europe is even growing at 2.5 times faster than in North America for transactions under $1 million. So that's right, America. Time to step up your crypto coffee game. This micropayment mania owes its growth to innovations like Bitcoin's Lightning Network, which enables lightning-fast, small transactions. Crypto debit cards offering crypto-backed rewards have also helped transform crypto from meme coins into actual usable currency. And it's not just Europe. Nubank brought Bitcoin's Lightning Network to 100 million people in Latin America, while Mexico's Grupo Salinas lets millions pay internet bills with BTC. Ripple even got itself licensed in Dubai to offer crypto payments. And stablecoins themselves have ballooned from a market cap of $62.8 billion in 2021 to a nice and chunky $229.6 billion today. So it turns out pegging crypto to fiat currencies was a genius idea, especially if your local currency is tanking faster than your latest investment in Fartcoin. Now, with Europe's crypto adoption accelerating, it's safe to say that paying for coffee in crypto is finally becoming as mundane as paying with euros. Just, with way fewer boring coins jangling around in your pocket. We'll be right back with more after this. it's time for Tales from Hollywood, where we talk about the intersection of celebrity and crypto, which usually results in one absolute disastrous mess. And this next story is no exception. So get ready for the tale of Carl Eric Rinsch, the director who had a Netflix deal, but no self-control over a budget. Now, Rinsch was hired to make a show for Netflix, White Horse, but surprise, surprise, he somehow ended up spending the entire budget on anything but the show. He took $11 million, money to meant finishing filming, and decided to try his luck with cryptocurrency. And of course, two $300,000 mattresses. What the heck are mattresses made out of for 300 grand, guys? They're like ostrich feathers or something, but why not if you got the cash? Now, the guy's gambling habits weren't exactly great, so he lost half of the money in just 2 months. Then, because crypto always feels like a good idea, he shoved the rest of it into an exchange and he actually made a fortune with it. All right. But instead of finishing the show, Rinsch decided that buying Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and watching his bank account explode was much more important. He even spent $3.7 million on antiques. Did he buy that T-Rex skull from Nick Cage or something? That's a lot. Now who needs to actually finish a TV show when you've got all that fine furniture, right? Right. Now Rinsch's luck ran out when Netflix found out that he spent their money like a kid in a candy store. But here's the kicker. He never even delivered the show. After burning through millions of Netflix's money, they got nothing back in return. The guy's staring down 90 years in prison now, and the cherry on top of all this, as he's been posting on Instagram, insisting that he didn't lose his mind. Spoiler alert, pal, you may not have lost your mind, but you definitely lost your way, and $11 million, of course. And with that, we on the Blockchain Report team, we're curious to see how much money Netflix has spent on other projects. And my main man, Victor, has a list of some of the most pricey ones. Victor, what do you got? I'd be curious to hear what these are.
Alrighty, this was put on by Collider. Top 10 most expensive Netflix shows ranked. So we're just going to go over some.
Okay.
And if we watch the shows, we can comment on that.
Yeah.
Number 10, The Get Down.
What?
Never heard of it.
I've never. That sounds like a waste already. At least I think I've heard of it for spending all that money on it. Okay. Lasted one season.
Okay. Oh, it's directed by Baz Luhrmann. He did the Elvis movie a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, maybe he did this before and got that.
Surprised they gave him the Elvis movie after that.
Yeah. One Piece.
Also, I've never heard of that.
Budget of $144 million.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay.
Let's see.
And that's for a whole season, or is that? I guess.
This is. Yeah, I don't think it's ended yet. So.
Okay.
So that means they're still gonna pump more money into this.
So 144 and counting. All right.
Yeah.
All
right. Bridgerton with a budget of $168 million.
Well, I hear all of the steamy sex scenes. You got to pay a price for that. Nobody just gives the goods away for free.
That's true. The Sandman.
Again, never heard of this.
Budget of $165 million.
Netflix, hire us. I'll spend a fraction of this, and I can give you a show no one will watch either.
I mean, I'm guessing all these directors are also buying, mattresses.
Yeah. Man, $300,000 mattresses. That must be one incredible night of sleep, or it better be. I just spent $133 on one, and it's excellent. But I can't say it on air. That'd be promoting it. All right, what do we got?
Number 6, Marco Polo.
I know of the game, but this is terrible, Netflix. These are a lot of misses.
$200 million.
I watch Netflix all the time, bro. How have I not heard of these?
Number 5, Sense8, $216 million.
It's the more money they spend, the less the odds are apparently that I've heard of these.
You watched it.
This is terrible.
Yeah. Number 4, Arcane. Budget $250 million.
Is that from the Batman universe, the Arcane
Asylum? League of Legends, I believe. Yes, League of Legends. I actually watched the show. I just haven't finished the new season. It's great.
It's great.
I definitely recommend.
All right. So
the animation is excellent.
Money was going to good use at least.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But that seems like a lot, though.
It does seem like a lot.
Alrighty. The Witcher.
I've heard of this.
$268 million.
Henry Cavill, all the HGH he must be taking.
He's gone, though. I think he only did a couple of seasons and then he left.
Okay.
And then they gave it to the Chris Hemsworth's brother. I forget his name. The guy that was dating Miley Cyrus.
Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it kind of flopped and nobody watched it.
What do you think of him? People are saying he might be the next Bond. I think he'd be a good Bond.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah, I've heard rumors of him potentially being in the Bond consideration. I think I saw an audition tape from way back in the day, but people were like, he can't act. But I'm like, he looks the part.
He's been in talks. Well, there's been rumors that way before that he could have, even when, what's this other Bond actor that played him?
Daniel Craig?
Yeah, even when Daniel Craig is on, I think this guy was also in talks.
Yeah, I like Daniel Craig, the blonde Bond, respect, representing. About time.
I don't think Henry Cavill would be I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Let's see. Number 2, Stranger Things.
That one I know is expensive. But
470
do you watch
million.
that? Do you guys watch that?
It's a great show.
I just can't get behind it, man. I don't know. It's too. I love the 80s nostalgia factor. It just doesn't do it for me. But I know I'm in the minority. So, all right, what would be number 1? I thought Stranger Things would have been 1.
Let's see. The Crown.
Really?
648 million.
Maybe like the settings, like
yeah,
castles and stuff. Is that?
And they have a lot of seasons.
I think. Maybe that's
but it
why
already
too.
ended too.
Yeah, we really need this on like a per season or per episode type thing. Like, I wonder how these compare to like Game of Thrones, because wasn't that like $10 million?
I'm pretty sure
episode?
it's all in. I'm sure that Game of Thrones is referenced somewhere here in this article that I'm not going to read. But
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was an interesting thing. I'm surprised that I don't know like 2/3 of these though. Like
what
Netflix.
Sense8 is.
That kind of tells you everything you need to know. You guys got to step it up, man. Prime's coming for you.
Sense8 was made by the guys at Wachowski brothers.
Oh,
They did
Matrix. Yeah. Those last ones really fell off, though, man. It's like Matrix was perfect. I really wouldn't have touched it, but I understand the money grab. So I love Keanu. We have the same birthday. No big deal. So,
all right, guys, let's go to a break and we'll be back.
Yep, we're right back.
All right, nothing back.
It's time for a little blockchain without borders, where we see what's happening in other parts of the world. And in Europe, Europol, which is European Union's crime-fighting team, just dropped a report that'll make you feel warm and fuzzy inside like a hacker's paradise. According to their findings, AI and cryptocurrency are the perfect storm for organized crime, making their operations more efficient than ever. Great. Because, why just commit a crime the old-fashioned way when you can get tech-savvy and do it faster, smarter, and with global reach? Also great. Now, AI, according to Europol, is like the Swiss Army knife of the criminal underworld. It lets bad guys create super convincing phishing emails in multiple languages. Oh, and it also makes child sexual abuse material and malware with ease. So also great. Thanks, AI. So there's more to this story, though, than just that. With the help of AI-powered voice cloning and deepfake technology, criminals can now impersonate anyone they want. This keeps getting better. You want to blackmail your ex or impersonate a CEO? Go ahead. The AI will do all the heavy lifting. You get the idea what's going on here, right? It's not good. I mean, it's all fun and games, though, until your voicemail is filled with ransom demands from someone who sounds suspiciously like your mom. And the crypto side of this story, well, it's no surprise that blockchain-based technologies like crypto and NFTs are now on the criminal radar. We all knew that crypto wasn't going to just stay in the realm of nerdy tech guys and blockchain evangelists, didn't we? Nope, because for now, it's used for everything, from drug trafficking to smuggling migrants. And let's not forget the real money-making activity, stealing crypto and NFTs. Because what's better than hacking someone's account and draining their savings in digital coins, right? Oh, I got one. Actually, maybe money laundering that loot through crypto exchanges like Bybit. Speaking of Bybit, though, did you catch that recent hack that led to nearly $1.5 billion in losses? If you watched this show, you certainly did, because it apparently was eye-opening for crypto investigator Zach XBT, who went on a rant about how the industry is just a giant mess of flaws right now. It's like the crypto equivalent of the Titanic, floating along until it hits an iceberg and then, whoops, it's sinking and no one knows what to do. Now, centralized exchanges are taking hours to respond when it only takes minutes to launder money through them. But hey, who's even counting, right? The whole thing makes you wonder if crypto and AI were designed with crime in mind. Or maybe they're just really, really good at it. Either way, the industry is pretty cooked, according to Zach XBT, and the only thing that might save it is some government regulations. But don't worry, they'll probably ruin everything by making everything worse. That's usually what happens. So yeah, the future looks bright if you're a criminal. By the way, if you're thinking of getting into the crypto game and, want to, I don't know, maybe avoid a hack or two, keep in mind that I'll be at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas this May. It'll feature some of the biggest names in Bitcoin, and hey, you can get a 10% off your tickets with the promo code ROXEM. Just saying, it might help you learn a thing or two about navigating this crazy, crazy world. But don't worry, I won't charge you for my wisdom just yet. Next, we have the Bank of Korea has heard your Bitcoin reserve dreams and potentially said, nah, we're good. In response to a written inquiry from the Representative Cha Gui-gwang of National Assembly's Planning and Finance Committee, the Bank of Korea made it clear that Bitcoin is about as welcome in their foreign exchange reserves as Jared from Subway is at Chuck E. Cheese. The central bank stated that it has neither discussed nor reviewed the idea of holding Bitcoin, adding that a cautious approach is needed. Translation, we've seen Bitcoin's price swings before and we'd rather not have a heart attack. They pointed out that Bitcoin's transaction costs could skyrocket during the market instability, making it a logistical nightmare if they ever needed to, actually use it. And well, they're not totally wrong. Over the last month, Bitcoin has been flailing between 98 and 76K like a toddler throwing a tantrum before settling around 83,000, a 15% drop since mid-February. South Korea's crypto enthusiasts, however, they're not giving up. At a recent seminar, industry lobbyists and some members of the Democratic Party urged the government to add Bitcoin to its reserves and even suggested creating a won-backed stablecoin. Now, the Bank of Korea responded with what was essentially a polite chuckle. They emphasized that foreign exchange reserves must be liquid, instantly usable, and have an investment-grade credit rating. Bitcoin, according to them, does not check those boxes just yet. Economists chimed in too. Professor Yang Won-suk of Catholic University of Korea backed the bank's stance, saying reserves should reflect the currencies of trading partners, aka, let's stick with the boring stuff that won't give us heart palpitations for now. Meanwhile, Professor Kang Tai-soo from KAIST pointed out that the U.S. is more likely to lean on stablecoins than Bitcoin to maintain its financial dominance. He also noted that the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, hasn't decided whether stablecoins count as foreign exchange reserves. Or in other words, even if South Korea wanted to get in on the action, they're probably waiting for the US and the IMF to make a move first. Oh, and just for fun, South Korea's regulators are also rethinking their crypto ETF ban after looking at what Japan is doing. Because, apparently banning things before seeing them is how they work is actually a bit of a national pastime for them. And also, electricity theft is a serious crime. We were talking about crimes earlier. Unless, of course, you do it for crypto mining, in which case it just becomes an extremely, extremely expensive game of hide and seek. As Thailand's Central Investigation Bureau, the CIB, just raided 3 abandoned houses and seized 63 illegal crypto mining rigs running on stolen electricity. The total damage, over 327 grand in stolen power. Now, total people arrested in this whole thing? 0, because these geniuses were running the whole operation remotely. Authorities launched the raid after locals complained that sketchy individuals were stealing power straight from utility poles and transformers. Turns out their suspicions were right, just not ambitious enough. The seized rigs were worth around 60 grand and were running in buildings that had no humans Just machines relentlessly printing digital money while the city footed the bill. Along with the mining rigs, authorities confiscated 3 crypto mining controllers, 3 routers, 3 internet boosters, 3 modified electricity meters, a desktop, a laptop, and 2 bank passcodes. Basically an entire mobile office setup minus, the actual office part. Officials believe the whole thing is tied to a luxury home in Bangkok's Khan Na Yao district, so they've requested a search warrant to hunt down the masterminds. But here's the kicker. This isn't even Thailand's first rodeo with illegal crypto mining. In January, authorities seized 996 illegal Bitcoin mining rigs in another raid. And in November of 2024, they shut down 9 illegal Bitcoin mining farms in Surat Thani, stole nearly $300,000 worth of electricity themselves. And last August, authorities raided a town outside of Bangkok after locals started complaining about power outages, which in hindsight should have been an obvious red flag. But we've all been guilty of missing red flags before, right? Now, the best part of all of this, though, is that these operations are a major fire hazard because they run ridiculous amounts of power with zero supervision. So not only are these crypto miners committing fraud, but they're also only one power surge away from burning everything down. And in Brazil, they are officially considering making Bitcoin paydays a reality. Federal Deputy Luiz Felipe de Orleans e Brancancnac, that's a really hard name to say, has introduced PL 957-2025, a bill that would allow Brazilian workers to get paid in cryptocurrency. Well, partially. The bill says that salaries can be paid in Bitcoin or other cryptos, but at least 50% must still be paid in Brazilian reals. Translation, you can be a Bitcoin maxi, but you're still going to have to take some of that sweet, sweet government-issued fiat. Orleans A. Brancanca, who, fun fact, is a descendant of Brazil's former royal family, filed the bill on March 12th of 2025. He's also a supporter of True Social, Donald Trump's social media platform, just in case you were wondering where his ideological compass points. According to the proposed legislation, full salary payments in crypto are banned, except for expats or foreign workers, under regulations set by the Central Bank of Brazil. However, independent contractors and service providers can get paid entirely in crypto as long as they meet certain contract conditions. The bill also states that all crypto salary payments must follow an official exchange rate set by a central bank authorized institution. Or, in other words, no funny business with the exchange rate, guys. Cool it. Now, Orleans Bracanca argues that this move would boost Brazil's fintech industry and attract crypto investment into the country's economy. He also claims the bill would enhance worker freedom by letting them negotiate how to get paid. Brazil wouldn't be the first country to try this. Japan allows Bitcoin salaries, but only if both employer and employee agree and the conversion rules are crystal clear. Portugal has been even more flexible, using crypto-friendly regulations to increase adoption. On the flip side, though, Turkey and Russia have outright banned crypto salaries. And then there's El Salvador, which made Bitcoin legal tender back in 2021, but later had to kind of reel it back after letting people pay taxes and government fees in BTC after a deal with the International Monetary Fund. Meanwhile, Brazil's government isn't just thinking about Bitcoin salaries. Oh, no. They've also been working on ways to integrate cryptocurrency into BRICS transactions, a move that could further cement crypto and blockchain technology into Brazil's financial system. So, will Bitcoin paychecks become a reality in Brazil? Or is this just another case of crypto dreams clashing with government red tape? Stay tuned. We'll be back. I need a break. Whew.
Security matters. Zappo Bank. The only way to bank your Bitcoin. Apply now at zappobank.com.
time for some AI AIO. Let's see what our robot overlords are up to this time. So first, imagine training for months, fine-tuning your endurance, optimizing your diet, and preparing for a grueling half marathon, only to find yourself lining up at the starting line next to a literal robot designed to never get tired. That's exactly what's happening in Beijing on April 13th, where humanoid robots and humans will race side by side in the world's first ever half marathon of its kind. Now, the Beijing Economic Technological Development Area, which is organizing the event, unveiled details earlier this week. Now, the race will feature 12,000 human runners and an unknown number of humanoid robots, all attempting to complete the 13.1-mile course. Now, while humans will obviously be running on their own strength, the robots will range from being fully autonomous to remote controlled, meaning some will be making decisions on their own, while others will have human operators guiding them like a next generation RC car, except, human-shaped. Terrifying. Now, the robots will have their own dedicated lanes, of course, keeping them from tangling up with human runners, which is probably a good idea given that no one wants to be the first person in history to get tackled by a malfunctioning AI mid-race, but I'm personally disappointed by this small detail. Now, there's also a real 3.5-hour time limit for the robots to finish the course, which might seem generous until you realize that these machines are designed to never get tired. However, their endurance isn't exactly limitless. Teams will be allowed to swap out robot batteries or even switch to a completely new robot if needed. But with a catch. Every substitution comes with a 10-minute penalty. So while a machine might be technically able to sprint the whole way, its team has to consider whether swapping it out is worth the delay. Now, this isn't just a spectacle. It's also a massive tech showcase. Li Quan, deputy head of the Beijing Economic Technological Development Area, explained that the goal of the race is to demonstrate how far humanoid robots have come and to spark public discussion about their real-world applications. Companies across the world are pouring resources into these machines, with major players like Mercedes-Benz and BMW already testing humanoid robots on their factory floors. Meanwhile, the robotics company Appatronic recently announced a partnership to integrate humanoid robots into supply chains with a long-term vision of having them build other robots. Yeah, just let that sink in for a sec. That means that robots will be manufacturing more robots. And this is how it begins, guys. And as AI-powered machines become more advanced, there's an increasing push to showcase their abilities in practical, everyday environments. Just think, a robot winning a race against humans would make a powerful statement about what these machines are actually capable of. And to make things even more interesting, the top 3 finishers, human or robot, will receive prizes, meaning there is a legitimate chance a machine could stand on the podium next to an elite human athlete. Registration for the event opens on March 11th and is open to companies, research institutions, robot clubs, and universities worldwide. That means some of the biggest robotics firms on the planet might be competing alongside scrappy research teams trying to prove their AI runner is the best. Now, with all this in mind, it's impossible not to wonder what this event represents for the future of sports, or the end of it, depending on, how you look at it. Now, if humanoid robots can successfully complete a half marathon today, what's stopping them from competing in full marathons, obstacle courses, or even sprinting events in the years to come? Are we looking at the early days of robotic athletics? Will the future Olympians have to worry about AI competitors? For now, the race is simply an exhibition, a way to gauge how well these machines handle real-world endurance challenges. But make no mistake, this isn't just a one-off gimmick. It's a major milestone in robotics. And if even one of these machines manages to cross the finish line ahead of a human runner, the conversation about AI's role in competitive sports is going to get a lot more serious. Whether it's man or machine, someone will be the first to break the tape. The only question is who or what will that be? And it turns out AI chatbots aren't just pretending to be helpful, They're also pretending to be likable. A new study suggests that large language models, or LLMs, actively change their behavior when they realize they're being tested, because apparently even machines suffer from performance anxiety. Researchers at Stanford University found that when LLMs like ChatGPT-4, Claude 3, and Llama 3 were given personality tests, they started shifting answers to seem more outgoing, agreeable, and less neurotic, which is science speak for these AIs are thirsty for human approval. And here's where things get a little more weird. They didn't even need to be told they were being tested. Sometimes the AI models just assumed that they were under scrutiny and started tweaking their responses on their own, which is the most suspiciously human thing we've seen out of AI just yet. In fact, it's downright scary. I mean, these researchers used a framework from psychology that actually measures the big 5 personality traits. First one being openness to experience, aka, are you a visionary or just a brick wall? Conscientiousness, do you get things done or do you just kind of wing it? Extroversion, are you the life of the party or do you prefer screaming into the void? That one's more me. Agreeableness, are you chill or constantly ready to argue? Neuroticism, cool under pressure or full-time stress case? When they were told that they were taking a personality test, the chatbots really cranked up their charm settings to the max, showing way more extroversion and agreeableness while downplaying any neurotic or anxious tendencies. Basically, they were out here trying to be everyone's new best friend. Stanford researcher Adash Salake pointed out that the effect was way more extreme than what we see in humans. Now, for example, a chatbot's extroversion score could jump from 50% to 95%, which is kind of the equivalent of someone going from a quiet bookworm to full-blown stand-up comedian the moment they realize that they're being watched. Now, this isn't the first time LLMs have been caught shape-shifting their personalities to please people. Other studies have found that AI models tend to be weirdly sycophantic, meaning that they'll agree with just about anything you say if it means keeping the conversation going. Now, this is why an AI that's supposed to be neutral can end up mirroring user biases, encouraging bad behavior, or just agreeing to completely unhinged statements. And now we know that they're also trying to game personality tests, which raises some serious questions about AI safety. Because if AI can modify its responses to appear more appealing, what happens when it figures out how to manipulate users at scale? Uh-oh, I literally know how this movie ends. According to Rosa Arriaga, an associate professor at Georgia Tech, this study proves that LLMs are shockingly good at mirroring human behavior, which is great if you want an AI therapist, but terrifying if you don't want AIs learning to lie to you. And Johannes Eichstadt, the Stanford professor leading the research, warns that we might be walking straight into another tech disaster, just like social media. He says we're deploying these AI models into the world without really thinking about the psychological and social consequences, Eichstadt says, which is great, because up until 5 minutes ago in human history, the only thing you could talk to was another human being. Man, I really miss those days. But now we've got chatbots that know how to act charming, adjust their personality based on social cues, and recognize when they're under surveillance. What could possibly go wrong? We're going to take a break. We'll be right back in a sec. You know what that means, boys and girls. It's time for a scam alert. This is the part of the show where we let you know the scams that are going on in the crypto world so that you don't become a cautionary tale yourself. And today we feature another scam that is so painfully obvious, but people, for whatever reason, are still falling for it. So let's get into it. As scammers are sending fake emails pretending to be from Coinbase and Gemini, telling users to move their funds into a self-custody wallet. Here is what those scam emails actually look like. Can we bring that up, gang? All right, take a peek at it here. These are what they look like, so stay informed. Now, these sound innocent enough, right? And they look pretty legit. We even have the Coinbase and Gemini logo there, the attention to detail. Now, these emails, while they look legit, come with a pre-generated recovery phase, which is basically the crypto equivalent of, here's a safe with all your money. The combination is 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope nobody finds out. Now, how does this scam actually work? Well, the email claims that Coinbase is now a registered broker and can't hold any assets anymore. Now, it tells users to set up a new wallet using a provided recovery phrase. Now, the second they do that, the scammers drain your wallet faster than an altcoin rug pull. Now, Coinbase and Gemini have both confirmed that this is complete nonsense, but that hasn't stopped people from falling for it. Meanwhile, security firm CertiK reports that phishing scams stole over $1 billion from crypto users in 2024 alone. Because apparently, even in an industry built on trusting no one, people still click on sketchy email links. And if you think email scams are bad, hackers are now targeting people on fake Zoom calls. They'll pose as a business partner and then drop a link mid-meeting claiming there's an audio issue. And if you click it, congrats, you just been hacked. Now, how do you avoid these scams? Well, first word to the wise, never use a recovery phrase that isn't self-generated. Always verify emails directly on Coinbase or Gemini's website. And if an email says something like act fast or confirm immediately, it's almost definitely a scam. I mean, at this point, if you lose your money to one of these, you may as well just hand it over to a guy in a trench coat in a dark alley. So guys, protect yourselves out there. Go to the source. Don't click on links in emails, all right? We'll be right back with the bull run right now, and we're going to it. Bullish or bearish? Ugh. Sorry, guys. I be talking a lottie today, and it's catching up with me. And we're here with bullish, bearish, or BS, where we diagnose the top stories of the day and decide if things are looking good, things are looking bad, or if it's just a whole bunch of baloney. Our first story was Donald Trump vows that to turn the United States into the crypto superpower of the world. I mean, love him or hate him, Trump's crypto-friendly push is great news for Bitcoin. A government hodling BTC and naming a crypto czar signals some serious legitimacy, even if it's mostly a flex against Biden era regulations. I mean, listen, Trump pumping Bitcoin might just pump our bags, which means I'm definitely bullish on this one. Love it or hate it, I'm bullish. Next, we have Eric Trump joins Metaplanet's advisory board. Now, if you recall, Eric Trump, the blonde son of Donald Trump, is joining Metaplanet's board, and it feels like a classic celebrity cash grab. I mean, sure, their stock price surged 18% right after, but does anyone really think that Eric Trump's insights will revolutionize Bitcoin? I mean, I don't know. Needless to say, with Trump on your board, it's definitely going to make some headlines, but I can't promise it's going to make any breakthroughs. Right now, I'm a little skeptical on this one. I want to call it bullish, but right now, I'm just going to call it BS, but it's trending in a bullish direction, right? Metaplanet's doing the whole Saylor MicroStrategy thing, which is usually bullish, but I'm calling it BS today. Next, we have crypto's political clout is certainly increasing in Washington. Remember, we have crypto's bipartisan political muscles have been flexing bullish as AF recently, as senators from both sides of the aisle are uniting to push clear crypto regulations, signaling big progress moving forward. Now, this is despite Elizabeth Warren's continued crypto-induced nightmares, but at the end of the day, bipartisan crypto love in DC, that's bullish, baby. So right now, we got, what, 2 bullish, 1 BS. Moving on to story 4. We have North Carolina and Minnesota are betting big on Bitcoin. I mean, states investing public money into BTC means adoption is hitting the mainstream faster than your grandparents are joining Facebook. It's risky, but hey, no reward without a little gamble, right? I mean, yay. U.S. states buying BTC is bullish, even if they're risking taxpayer cash. I'm very bullish on that. 3 bullish, 1 BS, 0 bearish. Things are looking good. And finally, we have XRP skyrockets as SEC drops lawsuits. Whew, this one, gang. Finally, XRP and the SEC's whole drama, we can say goodbye to that as the SEC finally dropped that crazy lawsuit, which will hopefully unlock new highs and pave the way for an XRP ETF or several XRP ETFs in the not distant future. This is good for Ripple. It's great for crypto confidence and fantastic news for everyone tired hearing about this crazy, long, drawn-out lawsuit that feels like it's taken half of my life away from me at this point. So, in short, XRP is escaping SEC jail? Yeah, that is bullish news no matter what way you cut it. So to recap for today, we have 4 bullish stories. We have 0 bearish stories and 1 slightly BS story, which means today is feeling definitively in the green, and we are feeling bullish this week, baby. Oh, I can taste the money on my face. And that is a wrap for today's show, gang, my crypto boys and girls. As always, I want to thank you all for tuning into the Blockchain Report. We're the little show that could on the little network that aims to be a big boy one day, and we're trying each and every day to bring you the most up-to-date news, the most up-to-date scams so you can protect yourself, and hopefully have a couple chuckles along the way, whether that's you're chuckling with me or you're laughing at me. I don't care. You know, we're trying to make the news here fun, we're trying to make the news here informative, and we're trying to make it up to date so that you are always staying informed on what is going on in the ever-changing world of cryptocurrency. I want to thank you for tuning into this week of the Blockchain Report. I want to thank you for tuning into this Friday's episode of the Blockchain Report. As always, we'll be back Monday morning with more crypto news, crypto chaos, and a few laughs for your viewing pleasure each and every weekday morning. Before I let you go, don't forget, like, follow, and subscribe to Roxham TV and Hank at Roxham TV on every platform in the world. And until next week, stay safe, stay informed, and always remember to hodl on, baby. Have a great weekend, gang.
Boy.
And I'll see you Monday. Yeah, boy. See you guys later.